curious.
What about you?
Oh, I get it. The pencil's a metaphor for his penis. 50 Shades of Grey, released in 2015, and is directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, who's also directed a film that was called Nowhere Boy, which is exactly what I want to be, nowhere close to this film ever again. Zing! And this film stars the always-looking constipated Dakota Johnson and the non-charismatic, stiff-as-a-board Jamie Dornan. And the film is based on the world-famous erotic romance novels of the same name, written by E.L. James, who I have to say probably has the most boring sexual fantasies of anyone on this planet. Really? This film is hailed as the most sexual revolutionary film ever made? What? Oh, this is gonna be fun. In this world-famous erotic tale, a graduate student by the name of Anastasia Steele begins a sadomasochistic relationship with a famous businessman known as Christian Grey. And the entire film is Anastasia burning Christian Grey alive, trying to get all 50 of those shades of Grey. I'm stretching here. This is 50 Shades of Grey because his last name is Grey, and he has a bunch of gray ties, and ties are used to bound people. This film is bad. And it's not bad in the aspect of, oh, I just didn't get it, or this version of sex, sadomasochism, it's not my thing. I actually find it very, very fascinating. And I have a lot of respect for it. Might have even dilly-dallied into it myself. But this film misses the mark just on representing that entire world. And then you put that aside in the construction of this film, the editing, the story, the writing, just the overall plot in here makes no sense and it goes nowhere. Not to mention that our two lead characters, who are supposed to have just this endless sexual tension, have zero chemistry with each other. So let's start with them, shall we? Dakota Johnson, who is our lead character in this film. I have seen her in other things. I thought she was okay in Bad Times at the El Royale, but this is the film that really put her on the map, and there is no sense of fun, or at least any sense of what her motivations are. She goes to interview Christian Grey for her school newspaper, and apparently the vibe that he was giving off during that interview was so sexually thriving that it just made her tingle all over. Now, as I've said on this channel before, I love sex. I'm a big fan of sex. It's my favorite thing in the planet. And I respect finding people sexy regardless of their gender. I was watching Christian Grey. I got none of that. She comes out of the meeting and she's flushed, she's flustered, her breath is almost taken away and she's quivering. Really? And I feel kinda bad because I think that Dakota Johnson is a good actress. I don't think that we've seen it yet, but I think it's in there. But the source material, just the character in general, the script that she's given to work with this film, it's atrocious. I do commend her, though, with her bravery of just being nude almost through half of this film. And we're talking about full body shots, not just like cropped off stuff, or robes, or shirts, or bed sheets covering the nipples. No, everything shows here. Which brings me to another issue that I have with this film. People are hailing this as the most sexually revolutionary film that has ever been made. We're going to explore things sexually in this film that we've never seen before. You know, other than like online and everywhere else. So when you market a film like that to me, I think, okay, we're not just going to get female exploitation here. No, we're going to get some male exploitation. We're going to see some dick. Nope, we just focus on the female body. We really don't see anything of the male. We see these little scars on his chest, but, you know, this film doesn't even bother explaining that. It's probably explained in the other two films, I hope. You see some pubic hair, though, so I'm gonna give them that. It's revolutionary. But then let's get to Jamie Dornan, who is just... there's no chemistry there at all. It's actually very comical because I feel any other actor that would have been cast and put into that role, regardless of how they looked, if they would have been put in that role, we would have gotten a little bit of chemistry. I haven't read the book, so I'm pretty sure in there the author is saying, oh, no, he doesn't show emotion, he doesn't show anything. You can still have a personality if you're like that. This portrayal of this character, there's nothing. There's no life to it. Just like this film, there is no life to it. Let alone the motivations behind these characters to get with each other. It doesn't make sense. Alright, so these two characters are sexually charged with each other. Okay, opposites attract. It happens all throughout the world. I get that. but wow, they spend a whole lot of time on these two, and the chemistry does not build at all. But then it's later revealed that Christian Grey, oh, he likes tying up his women and whipping them and humiliating them, which is part of the whole BDSM world. But the thing about that world is that it's not meant to be a punishment, and that's the thing that they kept saying in this film. Why are you trying to punish me? Why do you want to punish me? For the love of fucking God, it's not about punishment. BDSM, sadomasochism, it is about trust and establishing a solid bond with the person that you're with. So why Christian Grey is so fixated on Anastasia, someone who hasn't had sex before and is not interested in moving into that direction of going into BDSM and sadomasochism? Why would you pursue that? It's just gonna cause more headache for you if you're just looking for pleasure. He draws up a contract for her to sign. That way, whatever he does to her, he can't be sued later on for it. And then they do a fun little flirtatious contract signing where basically she's reading through it and like, I'm not gonna do that, or that. Now, you are your own person. Anastasia is her own person. If she's not into that or she doesn't want to do that, fine. Absolutely okay. You're entitled to what you're into and what you're not into. And if you don't want to explore, totally fine. But Christian has had like 14 or 15 other women that have agreed to this. Why would you subject yourself to her? Go find one of your secretaries or your assistants that I'm sure you've done this with before and go with them, because you have every right to enjoy the BDSM world too. Why would you hinder yourself? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because he's falling in love with her? Is he? Because I'm not sensing any love between the two characters at all. It frustrates me when the sexual world like this, with a world that really hasn't been shown on screen a lot, when it's presented in just a stereotypical blanket worldview like this, it pisses me off. That world is not about punishment. It's not about abusing people. It's not about humiliating. It is about finding someone that you can develop a strong, trustful bond with. God, this film. I'm just thinking, how did E.L. James ever write these books and not get any backlash from that world? Because really, the sexual encounters that we got in this film is the most explicit thing that you could think of? Ha! There's a lovely exchange in here that I openly laughed out loud, where Anastasia says, "Are you going to make love to me?" First off, who the fuck says that? Who the fuck says make love? But then Christian Grey's amazing response to this is, I don't make love, I fuck. Ha! And I spent the entire movie thinking, okay, when you gonna do that? And there's a lot of sex scenes in this film, and there's no fucking. This dialogue is just, it's all wooden. It's all surface level. There is no just meat behind it. Because every scene, they're talking about just how fucking hot Christian Grey is. This is all her best friend talks about. Oh my God, he is so hot. My God, you spent the entire weekend with him. You've had to fuck. No. Oh God, this fucking film. And it's obvious that they are milking this thing for all of its worth. Because in the end, at the end of this movie, I go, what was the fucking point of this? What was the story? What was the plot here? You know how every movie has an act 1, an act 2, and an act 3, a beginning, a middle, and a conclusion? Well, this film doesn't have that. This is just all beginning. So I assume that the act 1, act 2, and act 3 are gonna be felt over this trilogy of films, but each film is not gonna have their own beginning, middle, and end, because that's how filmmaking happens and works well. Nothing interesting happens here. She goes away, he follows her. Then they get together, and they're together for a whole weekend. And then they do some whipping, even though he whips her like 3 times very, very gently, and then starts having softcore sex. Ain't fucking. And then there's a relationship miscommunication, and then they're on the ends. And the film ends, I'll spoil it, because I don't fucking care about this film. No one should see this film, and I hope if you watch this movie that you don't watch it because of me. Unless you're like super drunk, because then this would probably be hilarious. Probably not even. This film ends in a montage. And we're not talking about like a montage like in the post-credits, like how you would see like at the end of Twilight or an MCU film. No, this montage is the end of the movie, and then the credits roll. And it's a montage of everything that we saw in this film up to that point. Of the helicopter rides, of the sexual encounters that they have, of the plane ride that they took, literally like 10 minutes before the climax. It just happen, and now it's in our montage. My wife can attest to this. I was screaming at the screen, what? That was it? It's terrible. Why do I keep talking about this? I'm gonna stop talking about it. Look out, Dark Shadows, because this film probably beats you for the worst movie I have ever seen. I'm gonna give 50 Shades of Grey 5 out of 5 mammograms.
I got the results of the test back. I definitely have breast cancer.
Now it's my time in my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and the next movie that I'm going to be watching is a recommendation from one of my subscribers and one of my followers. Gary Hales, you recommended Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ, starring Charlton Heston, who I always got mixed up with Clint Eastwood. They're basically the same person to me. Ben-Hur, I have not seen this in a very long time, and from what I remember, I think there was a reason for that. It's a very long movie, and I feel that I was confused. Like, I was entertained in the mid part of it, but then, like, the bookends of the film just confused me. I remember loving that chariot race, though. I'm excited to watch that again. Thank you very much, Gary, for the recommendation. I'm excited to check it out. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, please leave your suggestions below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. So guys, have you seen 50 Shades of Grey? What did you think about it? Did you read the book? What did you think about that? Did you like it? If you liked it, please tell me why, so that I can just understand. I need some kind of understanding with this. Please, comment below, let me know what you thought. And remember, we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2019, so if you like what you saw here, hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can, and, you know, if we hit 1,000, I'm gonna be torturing myself again by not watching the next 50 Shades movie, but watching Arachnophobia, which that's just, well, I got little, like, goosebumps just talking about it. It's just, I hate them. So I will see everyone next time with my review of Ben-Hur. In the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.